Hello, it's Mr. Win again with part 3 of the Algebra 2 DCA 2 test review. We just finished number 10, so now on to number 11. Write the system needed for the situation. At a clothing store, Bill bought 4 t-shirts, 5 sweaters, 2 jackets, pay that much. Mark bought those things, pay that much. Jess bought those things, pay that much. It just says write the system, not solve it. But this is a person by person by person thing. The first person, Bill, bought 4 t-shirts and 5 sweaters. I'll call it S for sweaters. And 2 jackets, 2J, and paid $147.25. The next person, Mark, his equation will be 5 t-shirts, so 5T, plus 3 jackets. He didn't buy any sweaters, so I'll skip the S. I'll put 3J equals 109.25. The last one, Jess, she bought 2 sweaters, no t-shirts. So 2 sweaters and 1 jacket, plus 1 jacket, 1J, or just J, equals 49.75. Now be very careful. If you had to make a system out of this, matrix, which you don't have to, but I'm going to show you anyways. TSJ answer. It would be 4, 5, 2, 147.75. The second one would be 5 for T, 0 for S, 3 for J, 109.25. Last one, 0 for T, 2 for S, 1 for J, 49.25. Now, you can change the letters to anything you want. T is good for t-shirts, S is good for sweaters, J is good for jackets, but if you want to call them X, Y, Z, you could. It doesn't matter as long as you're consistent, as long as you call all t-shirts X and all sweaters Y and all jackets Z. Alright, but the answer is this one right here. Right, number 12. Factor completely. So again, factoring, first up GCF. There's no GCF here. Next up, you count how many terms there are. There's 4 terms. 4 terms means grouping. I check this 2 as a group. I can take out an x cubed. What's left over would be a 2x plus 5. Alright, then I try this next group right here. I want the parentheses back, so I want to have a 2x plus 5 in the inside. So how does 16 turn to 2? I have to take out a negative 8. Plus it's negative, that gives me a hint. So if negative, that's positive 2x. Negative 4 divided by negative, it's positive 5. But now the parentheses are matching. That's good. If the parentheses are matching, that's your final GCF. You take that out. 2x plus 5. And what's left in front is your other parentheses. X cubed minus 8. Be very careful. It says factor completely. That means you're probably going to keep going. So second parentheses, the x cubed minus 8, that's 2 terms. Those are cubics. That third power right there is very helpful because it tells me I need to cube root them. You have to use that formula. This is the difference of cubes. So if I cube root x cubed, I get x. Cube root of 8, I get 2. Remember, this stays here. But the second parenthesis turns to 2 new ones, a small one and a larger one. The first one is just the 2 things we found, the x and 2. Then for the larger one, there's 3 terms. It's the first thing times itself. X times x is x squared. The middle term is the 2 things multiplying each other. X times 2 is 2x. And the last thing is 2 times 2, that's 4. I use SOAP for the signs. Same as the problem. Opposite of the problem, always plus. That is the answer. So after you do GCF, if you see a third power, that's telling you keep going. Do a sum or difference cube. Try to do the cube root formula. 13, factor completely. Again, factoring. I check GCF, which there is none. I see 2 terms. I see a third power. That's trying to tell me cube root them. And lucky, that is a cube root number. That's also a perfect cube. Cube root of 125 is 5. Cube root of m cubed is m. So it's 5m is the first one. Cube root of 64, that's 4. Because 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Those 2 things we just found go in 2 parentheses. The first one has the 2 things we find, 5m and 4. The second one has, again, 3 terms. The first thing times itself, 5m times 5m is 25m squared. The middle one is the 2 things multiplying each other. 5m times 4 is 20m. The last term is the second thing times itself. 4 times 4 is 16. SOAP for the signs, same as the problem. Opposite of the problem, always positive. And just to mention, if you don't know how to do cube roots, you can always check in the calculator. In the calculator, this is what you press. You press math 5. Go down here. You put a number out here. Cube root would be 3, obviously. Inside's 125. It tells me that's 5. If I try the other one, 64, it'll say the cube root 64 is 4. Alright, 14. If the calculator gives you these, what does it mean? After you do REF, so basically if you start a matrix, you type in calculator, second matrix, math, REF. This is the final answer the calculator gives you. Make sure you read this. If we're saying this is x, y, z, answer. This first one's telling me that a single x equals 5, a single y equals -3, and a single z equals 0. And that's fine. A letter can equal 0 because this is giving me a single x, single y, single z. That's good. If they don't give me all the letters, then that's kind of bad. So my answer here is that, or you can say a 5, -3, 0. This actually is consistent because there's an answer, and it's independent because there's one solution. There's a single point. If you know a single x, y, and z are, then that's the answer. This next one, same thing. If I call this x, y, z, answer. This is telling me a single x equals -8, and that's fine. It could equal a negative number. Second row, second equation says a single y equals 7. Third row, 0x, 0y, 0z. So there's no letters. So 0 on the left side equals 2. That is false. If it is false, that means no solution. So no solution is this. Remember, the word is inconsistent. So make sure you read that, because some people are going to tell me the answer is -8, 7, 2, and that's wrong. Z does not equal 2. There is no z there. All right, this last one. One that goes with x, if we call x, y, z. So single x equals -8, that's good. Second one, single y equals 7, that's fine. The third one, 0x, 0y, 0z, 0 on the left side equals 0. Well, that is true. If it's true, that's going to be infinite solutions, because that's a true statement. That would be consistent and dependent. I would make sure you can read these. Also, I have one more down here. Again, just make sure you can read. This one, same idea. If we go x, y, z, answer. This says 1x equals a, whatever a is, but we know what x is. It's a. Second one is y, single y equals b. That's fine. Third one is single z equals c. That's good. So that is our answer. Whatever is a, comma b, comma c, which one of those numbers are. This is consistent, independent. So be able to read the equations back from the calculator. All right, 15. If you have the following matrix, what would be the next step for Gaussian elimination? Don't worry too much about that word Gaussian, but elimination. Let me write those equations back in normal form. Let's call it x, y, z answer. All right, so this is really 6x minus 4y plus 1z equals 4. My second equation is 0x plus 2y plus 5z equals 26. Third equation is 0x 3y minus 6z. Can you be able to read that equation? It's -15. Gaussian elimination is just elimination in a specific way. They want to eliminate one letter at a time. The first equation has all 3 letters. They don't care about that. The second equation, second row, must have the first letter eliminated, meaning x is gone, which it is. The second equation is good. Then the third equation has to have both x and y eliminated. So they're saying ignore this first, but look at just these 2 right here. If I want to eliminate y by hand, how would I do it? Well, they have to have matching numbers, different signs. I'd have to multiply this first one by, let's do a 3, and second one by -2. Because then that'd give me 6y plus 15z equals 78, and -6y plus 12z equals positive 30. Elimination means you add downwards. -6y plus y cancels out. This will make 27z. This will make 108. So I'm going to multiply the second row by 3. I'll multiply the third row by -2. I'm going to add them together, because that's what elimination is. Because they wanted the final answer here. They just asked for the steps, but they want this new matrix. They want the first one to stay the same. They want the second one to stay the same. The third one, we now know it's supposed to be 0x, 0y, 27z equals 108. And they're just caring about, did you get rid of all the x's for the first one, except for the one? Did you get rid of the y for the second one? It's those 3 zeros. That triangle of zeros is what they want. So just elimination, use the second, third rows. You could rewrite the equation on the side and tell me what you multiply each equation by to make the y's match up and cancel out. 16, find the inverse. All right, inverse is easy. First step, y equals. Second step, switch x and y. Remember, the numbers stay the same, signs stay the same. Third step, solve for y. So I'm going to add 20 both sides. They don't combine. Then I'm going to divide by 10. So x plus 20 all over 10 is my inverse, f inverse. That is the answer. Now some of y'all want to split it, and that's fine. I don't know what the answer is like, so you can split it. It'll be x over 10 plus 20 over 10, but 20 divided 10 is 2. So this is the same answer, that or that, your choice. All right, so I'm going to go with the single fraction or the split fraction. All right, 17. If f of x equals that, evaluate each. All right, here, these are compositions. Remember, f of -3, that really turns into, I'll use blue. That turns into f of -3. You're going to plug in f of -3 to the equation first. So we're plugging -3 for x. That's going to be a 2, absolute value, 3 times -3 minus 1 minus 10. You work on the inside. That's going to be -9 minus 1 minus 10. You still have to go to the inside. -9 minus 1 is -10. It comes out positive 10. You can never distribute into the absolute value symbol. 2 times 10 is 20, minus 10 is 10. All right, so we found the first part. So we know this equals f, and this is replaced with positive 10. So now we got to find f of 10. Same equation, go back to equation f, plug in 10 for x. So it'll be 2, absolute value 3 times 10 minus 1 minus 10. We're on the inside, 30 minus 1 minus 1. So we're on the inside, that's 29. That's going to be 40, 58 minus 1. That's going to, oh, okay, let me do that correct, make sure. Comes out positive, which in case it stays the same, I kind of jumped ahead one step. Multiply that, that's going to be 58 minus 1, that's 57. This answer is 57. All right, I'm going to do the next one. Same idea. Let me erase this. Now, it might look a little different, but they're all really mean the same thing. They could use parentheses, brackets, whatever. This just means f of 0. And then you could write like this if you really want to. Same thing. I just make it different so you can see what goes where, like which parentheses go with each other, what brackets go with each other. It's just easier to distinguish. So here, we're going to figure out this part first, f of 0. I'm plugging 0 for x in equation f. 2, absolute value 3 times 0 minus 1 is 10. Work on the inside, 0 minus 1 is 10. Still work on the inside, that's -1. It comes out positive. Now I can finally multiply 2 minus 10, that is -8. So this turns into f of -8. So now I got to figure out what this is. I'm plugging -8 for x in equation f against absolute value, so be careful. 3 times -8 minus 1, that's 10. Work on the inside, that's -24 minus 1 minus 10. That's -25 minus 10. Comes out positive. I can finally multiply. 2 times 25 is 50 minus 10, that's 40. So this equals 40. All right, one more. Again, they look different. They all mean the same thing. This just means f of, I'll just write it a little nicer. So we're going to figure out what f of 4 is first. So plugging 4 for x in equation f. 2, absolute value 3 times 4 minus 1 minus 10. 2 times 12 minus 1 minus 10. Work on the inside. 11 minus 10. Comes out positive 11. I multiply 2 times 11 is 22 minus 10 is 12. So I now know that this turns into f of 12. We now got to plug in 12 for x in equation f. So 2 times value 3 times 12 minus 1 is 10. Inside it's 36 minus 1 minus 10. 35. Comes out positive. Multiply at 70 minus 10, that's 60. All right, so this is 3 different examples doing the same thing in all 3 formats, but basically it's back-to-back problems. Plug what is in parentheses into the letter left of it, get your answer, plug that answer you got into the equation again, get a new answer. You do it as many times as needed. All right, and I'll stop the video right here. This is going to be part 4. This is a long test.